Going through one of the biggest lottery crimes in U.S. history, we delve into the astonishing story of Eddie Tipton's descent from a trusted security expert to the architect of the largest lottery fraud in American history. How did a man charged with safeguarding the integrity of lottery draws turn into the mastermind behind their manipulation? This narrative isn't just about the mechanics of a fraud, it's a profound exploration of trust, temptation, and the weaknesses of supposedly unbreakable systems. Eddie Tipton, the central figure in a lottery fraud scandal, emerged from an unassuming background to mastermind one of the most significant lottery crimes in U.S. history. His story's not just one of a criminal mastermind, but also a tale of how expertise and access can lead to such deceit. Born in Texas, Tipton displayed an early interest in computers. His interest in technology led him to pursue studies in this field, eventually carving out a career in information technology. Tipton's professional journey was marked by a steady progression through the ranks of IT and computer programming. His skills in these areas were exceptional, demonstrating a deep understanding of both software and hardware aspects of computing systems. This expertise paved the way for his employment at the Multi-State Lottery Association, an organization that plays a crucial role in coordinating lotteries across multiple states. The Multi-State Lottery Association is responsible for overseeing various aspects of lottery operations, including the security and integrity of the games. At the association, Tipton was tasked with ensuring the secure operation of the computer systems that generate the random numbers for lottery draws, a position that granted him extensive access to the heart of the lottery system. Tipton's role at the Multi-State Lottery Association was both significant and sensitive. He was entrusted with the design and maintenance of the software used to pick winning numbers for various lottery games. This position required a high level of trust, as it involved direct interaction with the systems that could potentially manipulate the outcomes of lottery draws. His skills in IT security were particularly relevant, as they were supposed to safeguard the system against the very kind of manipulation he would later engineer. However, Tipton's deep understanding of the system's architecture and his unparalleled access to its inner workings eventually led him down a path of criminal activity. His knowledge of computer programming and IT security became tools for his scheme, allowing him to exploit loopholes and weaknesses within the lottery system. What makes Eddie Tipton's story so compelling is the transformation from a trusted security expert to a criminal mastermind. He used his specialized knowledge and position within the Multi-State Lottery Association to manipulate lottery draws for personal gain, a betrayal that shook the very foundations of the lottery system's integrity. As the Information Security Director, Tipton had comprehensive access to the secure computer systems that generated the random numbers for lottery draws. This level of access was the cornerstone of his elaborate scheme to rig lottery outcomes. Tipton's role in the Multi-State Lottery Association was not just administrative, it was deeply technical. He was responsible for the design and security of the software used in lottery drawings, a role that required not only trust, but a profound understanding of the systems in place. This position allowed him to work directly with the random number generator machines, the computers responsible for selecting winning lottery numbers. The machines were safeguarded against both external and internal threats. However, Tipton found a way to exploit his unrivaled access and knowledge to his advantage. The manipulation began with Tipton installing self-destructive, malicious code into the lottery software. This code was ingeniously designed to go undetected and only activate under very specific conditions, making the manipulation virtually invisible. Tipton's program was set to work on certain days of the year, and only if the draw occurred on those dates, the random number generating would produce predictable, non-random winning numbers that Tipton could calculate in advance. The first successful rigging of a lottery draw by Tipton occurred on November 23, 2010. The game affected was the Colorado Lotto. On this day, Tipton's malicious code kicked into action, and the winning numbers generated were ones that he had decided. This success marked the beginning of a series of fraudulent wins designed by Tipton, opening the door to substantial illegal gains. Tipton's manipulation went unnoticed for years. primarily because of the subtlety and complexity of his scheme. His deep understanding of the lottery system's inner workings enabled him to craft a method of manipulation that left virtually no trace. The random number generating machines, which were at the heart of the lottery's claim of randomness and fairness, were unknowingly compromised, leading to a false sense of security among lottery officials and the public. The first successful manipulation in Colorado was just the tip of the iceberg in what would later unravel as a far-reaching and intricate scheme. Tipton's ability to corrupt the lottery system from within without immediate detection underscores the severity of his actions and the profound implications they had on the integrity of the lottery system. This event would later become a critical piece of evidence in uncovering the full extent of Tipton's lottery fraud. Eddie Tipton's scheme to manipulate lottery results hinged on his ability to tamper with the random number generator, the heart of the lottery drawing process. His approach was both sophisticated and devious, involving the use of a rootkit, a stealthy type of software designed to hide the existence of certain processes or programs from normal methods of detection. A rootkit, in the context of computer security, is a tool or a set of tools that enable administrator-level access to a computer or a network. The rootkit typically hides its presence or the presence of other software. In Tipton's case, he developed a specific rootkit to target the random number generating systems used in the lottery. This software was intricately designed to be undetectable by the existing security measures of the lottery system. The manipulation process began with Tipton secretly installing his malicious software during routine maintenance of the random number generating machines. As the information security director, he had legitimate access to these machines, which he exploited to deploy his rootkit. This unauthorized software was designed to operate under very specific conditions. It would only activate on certain days of the year: May 27th, November 23rd, December 29th. This limitation was likely imposed to reduce the chances of detection and to make the manipulation more controllable. Once activated, the rootkit altered the random number generating process. Normally, these machines generate random numbers based on an algorithm that's supposed to be unpredictable. However, Tipton's software was able to dictate the outcome of the draw on the predetermined dates. It did this by using a predetermined algorithm that Tipton could calculate in advance. Essentially, the random number generating would not be random at all on these specific dates, but would instead produce numbers that Tipton already knew. This manipulation of the random number generating was a direct attack on the foundation of the lottery's integrity: its randomness. By predicting the winning numbers, Tipton was able to create winning tickets for these specific draws. His deep understanding of the system's architecture and security vulnerabilities enabled him to craft this manipulation method that could go unnoticed for a significant period. The subtlety of Tipton's approach was such that it did not leave any overt signs of tampering. His rootkit was designed to be self-destructive, erasing any trace of its existence after the predetermined draw dates. This self-deletion feature was a crucial aspect of keeping the scheme undetected, as it left the random number generating machines seemingly intact and operating normally after the rigged draws. The crux of Eddie Tipton's lottery fraud hinged not just on manipulating the draw, but also on successfully claiming the rigged prizes. This phase of the scheme was as calculated and secretive as the manipulation itself, involving the use of accomplices and a network of trust to anonymously claim the winnings. Tipton, due to his position at the Multi-State Lottery Association, was prohibited from purchasing lottery tickets himself. To get past this policy, he relied on accomplices, friends, and associates whom he trusted. These individuals would purchase lottery tickets with the winning numbers that Tipton had predetermined from his manipulation of the random number generating system. This approach allowed Tipton to remain in the shadows while still being the architect of the winning tickets. Once the winning numbers were drawn and the tickets were confirmed as winners, the next challenge was claiming the prizes. Lottery winners often have the option to claim their prizes anonymously via a legal entity such as a trust. Tipton and his associates used this method to their advantage. They set up a network of trust to claim the prizes, thereby keeping their identities hidden. This step was crucial in avoiding immediate suspicion, as Tipton's direct involvement in any lottery win would have raised immediate red flags due to his employment with the Multi-State Lottery Association. The scam spanned multiple states and affected various lotteries. Some of the key affected lotteries and states included Colorado, Wisconsin, and Oklahoma. Each of these instances followed a similar pattern. The winning numbers coincided with the dates Tipton's rootkit was programmed to manipulate the random number generating, and the winnings were claimed by individuals connected to Tipton or through anonymous trust. One of the most notable incidents was the attempted claim of a $16.5 million hot lotto jackpot in Iowa. This incident eventually led to the unraveling of Tipton's scheme. The winning ticket was bought in Des Moines, and an attempt was made to claim it via a trust. However, Iowa law requires jackpot winners to be publicly identified, leading to a stalemate when the trust refused to reveal the winner's identity. The breadth of this scam across different states and lotteries highlighted a significant breach in lottery security and trust. Tipton's method of using third parties to buy tickets and claim prizes through anonymous trust was a key strategy that allowed the fraud to go undetected for years. This approach exploited legal and regulatory loopholes in the lottery system, raising questions about the effectiveness of existing safeguards and the need for more stringent measures to ensure the integrity of lottery operations. The unraveling of Eddie Tipton's lottery fraud began with a winning ticket worth $16.5 million in the Hot Lotto game. This ticket, purchased in December 2010 in Des Moines, Iowa, became the pivotal point leading to Tipton's downfall. The ticket was initially an enigma. No one came forward to claim the prize until just before the one-year deadline. The claim was made not by an individual, but by a New York lawyer representing a Belize-based trust. This unusual approach immediately sparked suspicion. Typically, lottery winners either come forward promptly or, in cases of anonymous claims, don't involve such complex international structures. The Iowa lottery officials and the state's Division of Criminal Investigation began an examination of this suspicious claim. Investigators found a labyrinth of legal entities and proxies. The New York lawyer was unable to provide the identity of the ticket purchaser, citing client confidentiality. The trust, named Hexam Investments Trust, also provided little information. This secrecy in claiming a publicly awarded prize was unprecedented and raised red flags. The breakthrough came when investigators reviewed the convenience store's surveillance footage from the day the ticket was purchased. The video showed a hooded figure buying the winning ticket. Despite the figure's attempts to conceal their identity, certain characteristics matched Eddie Tipton, notably his physical build and voice. Additionally, the timestamp of the purchase coincided with Tipton's presence in Des Moines. Investigators dug deeper into Tipton's background. They discovered his employment at Multi-State Lottery Association, which gave him direct access to the Hot Lotto random number generator. This critical piece of information linked Tipton not just to the purchase of the ticket, but also to the potential manipulation of the lottery draw itself. The case took a dramatic turn when Tipton's colleagues and Multi-State Lottery Association identified him from the store's surveillance footage. This identification was a significant breakthrough, as it directly connected Tipton to the winning ticket. Investigators also uncovered evidence of Tipton's manipulation of the random number generating software, which he had used to predict the winning numbers. Eddie Tipton's downfall was marked by the convergence of technological evidence and traditional investigative work. The once anonymous figure from the state's surveillance footage was now identified as the mastermind behind the biggest lottery fraud in U.S. history. The $16.5 million Hot Lotto ticket, which no one claimed legitimately, turned out to be the key to exposing a complex web of deceit, manipulation, and fraud. This case not only highlighted vulnerabilities in lottery systems, but also showcased the persistence and skill of law enforcement agencies in unraveling sophisticated criminal schemes. The investigation into the biggest lottery fraud in U.S. history was a complex, multi-state endeavor that unfolded over several years. It began as a puzzling case of an unclaimed lottery ticket in Iowa, but soon expanded to uncover a web of deceit spanning several states and multiple lottery drawings. When the suspicious attempt to claim the $16.5 million Hot Lotto jackpot in Iowa was made, it triggered an intensive investigation. The Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, along with the Iowa Attorney General's office, spearheaded the probe. They collaborated with lottery and law enforcement agencies across multiple states, including Colorado, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, and Kansas, where similar lottery anomalies were reported. As investigators delved into the case, the focus narrowed down on Eddie Tipton, a former employee of the Multi-State Lottery Association. Tipton had been responsible for the security and programming of the computer systems used in the lotteries. The breakthrough in the case came from analyzing surveillance footage from the store where the winning ticket was purchased. The figure in the video resembled Tipton, contradicting the rules that prohibited Multi-State Lottery Association employees and their relatives from participating in the lottery. Tipton was arrested and charged with 2 counts of fraud. His trial revealed how he used his programming skills and access at Multi-State Lottery Association to rig the random number generators. Tipton installed a rootkit in the computers, enabling him to predict winning numbers on specific days of the year. During the trial, key evidence against Tipton included the surveillance footage, forensic analysis of the lottery computers, and testimonies from colleagues and acquaintances. One of the decisive pieces of evidence was the testimony from Tipton's former coworker who identified him in the surveillance video. Additionally, forensic evidence showed that the random number generator used for the draw had been tampered with, correlating with Tipton's access to these machines. The trial also featured testimonies from individuals involved in attempting to anonymously claim the jackpot on Tipton's behalf. These testimonies revealed the intricate network Tipton had created to claim prizes without exposing his involvement. The prosecution argued that Tipton's unique position at the Multi-State Lottery Association gave him both the means and opportunity to execute the scam. Eddie Tipton was ultimately convicted of fraud and sentenced to prison. His conviction marked the end of a sensational legal battle that exposed severe vulnerabilities in the lottery system. The case led to significant changes in lottery security nationwide, highlighting the need for stringent oversight and transparent operations in the gaming industry. Tipton's scheme, once considered the perfect crime due to the anonymity of lottery winners and the trust in random draws, served as a wake-up call to the potential for internal fraud and the necessity for rigorous checks and balances in the lottery system. In 2017, Eddie Tipton was sentenced to up to 25 years in prison after pleading guilty to a single count of ongoing criminal conduct. As part of his plea deal, he admitted to rigging lottery computer systems to predict winning numbers for drawings in several states between 2005 and 2011. His brother, Tommy Tipton, and friend Robert Rhodes were also implicated. Tommy received a 75-day jail sentence, and Rhodes was sentenced to 6 months of home confinement. Additionally, Tipton was ordered to pay $2.2 million in restitution, reflecting the fraudulent winnings collected over the years. The impact of Tipton's actions on the lottery system and its participants was profound. Public trust in the integrity of the lottery was deeply shaken, leading to a decline in participation. Legitimate winners who may have been denied their rightful winnings faced significant injustice, having lost out on potentially life-changing sums due to the rigged drawings. This incident led to an intensive scrutiny of lottery systems nationwide, particularly focusing on the vulnerability to insider threats. In response to the scandal, lotteries across the United States implemented strict security measures. Enhanced background checks for employees, especially those in sensitive positions, became standard. Many lotteries reverted to traditional ball draw systems instead of computer-generated numbers, aiming to rebuild public trust. New regulations were introduced to ensure greater transparency and external oversight in the operation of lottery equipment, and training for lottery employees was expanded to emphasize ethics and the integrity of the lottery system. Additionally, multi-state lotteries began collaborating to standardize security protocols and share best practices, forming a unified front against internal fraud. The revelation of Eddie Tipton's scheme as the biggest lottery fraud in U.S. history deeply affected the perception of lottery systems. It challenged their principles, spotlighting weaknesses to insider manipulation. This scandal underscored the need for secure measures and vigilance in maintaining public trust. Ultimately, it highlighted a disturbing reality where chance was overshadowed by deceit, showing that the allure of fortune can drive extraordinary manipulation. This event shifted the conversation around lotteries, emphasizing the delicate balance between luck and deceit.